What's up, Steel Squad? Welcome back to the Game Plan for Greatness. Right now, I am taking my post-work, pre-dinner walk right now. I freaking love walking. It's becoming an addiction of mine. But I'm trying to chase the tail end of this sunset. So I'll try to give you a quick little angle. You can see the sun setting over that tree line there. And I'm no longer in Florida this week, unfortunately. I'm back in North Carolina. So I'm not looking at the picturesque sunsets over the Gulf of Mexico. Very spoiled last week to get to experience those every evening. But the purpose of this video is I want to provide a quick wrap up, some updates from the trenches on week 1 of the Game Plan for Greatness. And week 1 was all about the physical and mental health benefits associated with working out in the morning, getting activity in early in the day, early and often throughout the day, as opposed to waiting and working out at nighttime right before bed, which I've had a bad habit of doing, pushing off in the past. And what I've noticed is a lot of times 8, 9, 10 o'clock rolls around and either 1, my gym's not even open anymore, 2, I don't have the energy to get that workout in, and 3, even if I do get that workout in, it makes it hard for me to then fall asleep because I just got to work out in, really late at night before bed. So I want to focus on research versus reality. I've done a couple Google searches here to pull together a couple bullet points of what other people have been noticing, experiencing, and what medical professionals are noticing that the research correlates and links to. So I'm going to be comparing that to my experiences from week 1. And I know that 7 days is a small sample size, not putting a lot of pressure on that. We're going to keep learning and growing as we go here from week to week to week. But it's still important to stop and reflect on how the first 7 days went of trying to implement this very simple life change, and then how we want to either continue or tweak and add new things in from there. So this is all about the compounding effect of how small life choices, small life habits can make big changes in our life over time, right? The Game Plan for Greatness, just to clarify, is not about telling other people how to live their lives. That's the last thing I want to do. But I am very passionate about learning how to best improve, because I feel most alive when I'm fighting to improve physically, mentally, and spiritually every day. It needs to be an everyday commitment that we make. So the purpose of these videos, the purpose of the Game Plan for Greatness, the mission behind this overall project is to help hold each other more accountable, and then to encourage other people to do the same, to fight to improve in their life. So enough rambling, but now let's dive into the research versus the reality. I took a few notes here of the things that I was able to find on some Google searches, and I also took some notes on my personal reflections. And I did notice some interesting correlations there, some areas of overlap. So starting first with what I noticed doing a couple Google searches, a lot of people reported feeling more alert, more energetic, and in some cases even happier, right? An overall boost to their mood when they were doing that activity early in the morning as opposed to late at night. They also saw a link, and this is speaking from the more medical professional standpoint, they've noticed a correlation to more calories being burned and a boost in metabolism when you start your day being more active. And again, a lot of these things are fairly intuitive. I was not shocked as a former athlete who has done some research in the past across and learned about some of these various topics. None of this blew my hair back. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but still helpful to see what are the main topics that are coming up here, just doing some Google searches. So on top of seeing a boost in metabolism, one other thing here is people reported falling asleep faster when they were working out in the morning as opposed to working out at night. And that one is very intriguing to me, because that's something I've been struggling with on a personal level, which is how to go to sleep earlier, wake up earlier, feeling more rested and energetic. Sometimes when I do wake up early, I feel super lethargic, and it's because I probably had trouble the night before falling asleep. So that's a topic for a whole nother week that we can dive into, but interesting to see the overlap and that it pops up here just in week 1. Now let's dive into the reality, right? What was my personal experience, key takeaways from week 1? Well, well, the first thing I noticed is when I woke up, I did not feel motivated at all to go outside and to do any form of physical activity. It was the last thing on my mind, actually. I woke up and the first thing, my very first thought of the day was, my mind is cluttered with a mental to-do list of all the things that need to get done for work. So my first reaction was, okay, well, I need to get started on work right away, right? I need to just jump into it and start knocking things off that mental to-do list. I had to stop myself, take a few deep breaths and say, no, Cam, you're going outside, you're gonna go for a walk and you're gonna do some push-ups. So I stopped, I threw on some clothes. Luckily it was Florida, it was hot, so I didn't really need a shirt, just throw on some pants, jump outside. I started going for a walk and I immediately felt this uplift in my mood. I felt less stressed because I was no longer obsessing over the things that needed to get done. So I felt less stressed. I felt more alert when I did get to the point where I was ready to start my work. I had already been awake for 30, 45 minutes, sometimes even an hour, and I had spent time walking outside, being out in nature, right? So I got to see some dolphins, I got to see some fish jump. I was definitely fortunate to be where I was, but regardless of the type of nature you're surrounded by, go out and get in it. Go explore it for a little bit. Go spend 20, 30 minutes walking, even if it's just down the street. You might see some people, you might wave to some people, and those interactions fuel you a lot more than you think they will. And I know that because they've fueled me a lot more. Just in 7 days, going out, being outside, I felt very refreshed and invigorated by that experience. So doing the push-ups, it doesn't have to be a super strenuous, hardcore workout. I started off very simple with things that are very easy to do. I just went for a walk, I pumped out a few push-ups, and I felt a lot better. I felt more alert, more energetic, and less stressed. So on top of that, I also noticed that I started to get hungrier earlier in the day. This one was interesting because it once again points to the fact that you could be burning more calories, right? When you start your day being more active throughout the course of the day, you're then encouraged to be more active and you have more momentum being active, so you're gonna burn more calories, right? That's not rocket science, that's pretty straightforward. So that links to a boost in metabolism if I was getting hungrier earlier in the day. Typically my first meal is not until 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I was getting hungrier and eating closer to 11 a.m. or noon. So a couple hour swing in difference there, just within those first 7 days. The last key takeaway that I noticed was it was easier for me to fall asleep. However, I was not able to fall asleep earlier. So that was something I still struggled with. And I'm gonna have to dive into that more. We will dive into that more together to try and figure out what are the best ways to fall asleep earlier so that you can wake up earlier, obviously feeling more energetic and refreshed. That was something that I still struggle with. I did notice that I was able to fall asleep faster, even though it was still late. And that could just be, hey, you know, I was spending a lot more time outside in the sun, right? There's a lot of variables here that are still included in this equation. So I don't think that it's always just a one-to-one, do this, okay, here's the result, do this, here's that. People's body and minds respond to things in different ways. So I encourage you to definitely get out there and try this stuff. You know, the last thing I want to do is tell anyone how to live their life, but I am very passionate about sharing the things that I believe are beneficial to all of us. And obviously I'm trying them out for myself. So if they're not good for me, then I'm not going to keep doing them. And I certainly wouldn't ever encourage or want to inspire anyone else to do anything that wasn't good for them and to help them fight to improve with the overall mission of Steel Squad. So that's a wrap on week 1. And I'm excited to jump into week 2. I'll definitely get a tone setter out for what's gonna be our next topic, theme, challenge for our second week here. But after 7 days, I'm really excited to be on this journey with all of you. And I hope that you are excited to start making some small changes in your life and to do that with other people who are passionate about fighting to improve. So new week, same mission, fight to improve. Here we go, baby.